Hey, this is Tamago. Welcome back to Automation Nation. In the previous episode, we got automatic iron over here. It is a bit slow as it is only one module, but it is getting the job done slowly but surely, heading towards the goal of 1000 iron ingots. I could make multiple modules here, but for now I think I'll just leave this as is and work on other things first. I did get a comment of replacing this with, for example, a belt or some other create thing, because stuff does get stuck over here unfortunately, which can cause lag in the long run, but for now I'll just keep it this way because I don't want to break the glass. It's very valuable in the early game. I'll refactor it in the future when the time comes. But today we're going to be doing some copper stuff, namely this quest cluster, which has to do with fluids and pipes and whatnot. So yeah, here's finally a good use of our copper. So let's get started with some fluid pipes. So the crafting recipe for this is just copper, different variations of it. So we need the ingots and the sheets over here. We probably need to make some more because we are almost out of it, but let's go make some of that right here. All right, I think it wants 32. There you go. That should be it. I'm very sure that's a reference to Mario, right? Oh boy, my pop culture knowledge is horrible, but that's the least I know. Okay, and it says that when you place them in the world, they connect to each other and you could wrench them so they are windowed so you can see what's coming through. It's actually quite cool. I didn't know that before. Okay, next up is the mechanical pump. Because water or whatever liquid does not move automatically, you need to pump it. It has a 16 block range, so we do need plenty of these. I didn't know about that range thing because I never had to pipe that far. But yep, that is just a cogwheel with a pipe, like so. Mechanical pump. Oh yeah, and we spin the sides using gears as it, well, kind of implies. And we can use a wrench to spin around the direction as you see. Alright, next up is the fluid tank. So these are just tanks that stick together and, oh boy, we need some glass. And some copper casings, which is some planks, and is that logs as well as some plates? Okay, just wants one for now, so let's just make that. Alright, here comes the casing. And here comes the glass over here. There you go, there's my fluid tank. And as you can see, they just connect together nicely, automatically. Or actually, I think that's incorrect. We probably need a 4 or 2x2. So 4 of them together to combine into one. All right, make 2 more. Let's see. There you go. Now that looks more correct. So they do combine like so. And now each of these have 8 buckets of capacity. So together 8 times 4 is 32. Next up is the item drain over here, which is just copper casing and an iron bar. So what this does is that it takes fluids from containers like, let's say, buckets and places it inside of its fluid buffer. And then you can pull it out with the mechanical pump that we had before, as well as the pipes to pipe it somewhere else if we need it. And also the container holding the liquid that was poured inside of this item drain would just be ejected out the other side. All right, next up is the valve. So this allows us to open and close fluid flow. All right, here comes the valve after setting up a temporary thing over here. I just remembered I cleared out this whole area because I wanted it to look clean, but then I ran out of iron plates, so that was a slight problem. So the valve over here requires us to use a crank or something like that, but over here we can just use a handle to manually turn it on or off apparently. So we just need some andesite alloy and copper plates. All right, here we go. And there are different colors apparently. Not sure what they are for, maybe some kind of labeling, but I guess we'll see. All right, we got a bit more. Okay, next up we have something called a hose pulley, which apparently can pull out an infinite amount of liquid, provided that that body of liquid is big enough. Let's say water, I guess, or lava in the nether. The ocean, water in the ocean, in the overworld. But yeah, 10,000 blocks. Yeah, that's pretty big requirement for that. But I guess that could come in handy for infinite lava, I suppose. Okay, so slightly complicated, but we have a pipe, casing, kelp, a plate, and a shaft. All right, here it is. Very nice. Okay, last but not least in this quest cluster is to make a spout. So that's just a fluid tank, dried kelp, and a nugget. But yeah, this is useful. This is kind of like the opposite of the drain, right? The drain gets rid of liquids from a container. The spout puts in liquids into a container. Or it could also coat certain foods with chocolate milk or honey, like we did in the Legend of the Eye series. Okay, and that is the very last thing in this quest cluster. Doesn't have any applications, but I guess we'll figure it out as we go. All right, let's move on to the next quest cluster on this chapter. Second to last, I think. There's another one over here with nodes, but we might not be able to do that now because I haven't found one in the overworld at least. But yeah, next thing I think is a bunch of fun stuff from Create. Well, one of them is necessary, I guess, which is the mechanical crafter grid. So these mechanical crafters are necessary for bigger crafting recipes like this. You might have seen some of them in the menu before. And it also allows us to automate some 2x2 and 3x3, regular crafting recipes, which is quite cool. I wasn't actually aware of that. But okay, so how many do we need? Well, I guess we only need one for this quest, but it would be nice if we were able to craft the big stuff. So we have 9 plus 6 times 2, 12, which is 21, I think. Yeah, okay, I think that's correct. So 21 divided by 3 is 7. So we need to craft 7 sets of these. So we need 7 electron tubes, which means 7 polished quartz. Okay. All right, here it comes. Hopefully we can find it in the menu. There it is. So 7 of these. And then we have them in our offhand. And then we, well, not eat them, but sand them down to the polished versions. Okay, perfect. That was when our sandpaper broke. And then we need 7 redstone torches and 7 iron nuggets. We need some brass casings. We need 7 crafting tables and 14 cogwheels. All right, I don't have enough cogwheels, so... Oh, okay, it's andesite, not alloy. Oh, sorry, those are the half shaft gears. We want the cogwheels, which are indeed andesite alloy. Okay, okay, here we go. And then finally, we get pulled together, I think. Oh, we're not on the crafting grid. Mechanical crafters. There you go. Very nice. We don't have a place for these yet, so we'll just keep them in our inventory. Next up is a tank, I think. Yeah, a Backtank. All right, so I've never used this thing before, but apparently it's kind of like RF, like storage type of thing. When you have those backpacks or jetpacks. Similar to this, but this is to help us use gizmos or gadgets like extendo grips and the potato cannons. Okay, and to craft it, we need, just some copper, shaft, and andesite alloy. Pretty nifty, not too hard. All right, here is the copper block, and then here comes the tank. Okay, I see. So I think this can be used for breeding as well. So that makes sense with the pressurized air. That's actually quite creative. Also, it being mechanical, like a source of mechanical energy. And to charge it, I think we have to, spin it from the top. So we could probably just use one of those things. I mean, this will probably break the cobble machine, but yeah, it's overstressed. So I think we can remove this one for now, like so. Oh, oops. That wasn't so wise, was it? But there you go. This should charge this slowly but surely. Okay, I figured out a more, I want to say permanent, but this is not permanent. But yeah, that's definitely not going to work out because that's generating cobblestone. But over here, we have enough SU to support this, gathering the compressed air. So we'll leave it as is while we are doing other things. Okay, here we have the extendo grip. And here comes our, well, I would say first difficult to create craft, because we need a mechanical crafter grid, as well as a precision mechanism, which doesn't always work. Yeah, so we need to set up some kind of supply line for this, as well as, our grid of mechanical crafters. So this might be a good opportunity to have a bit more of a permanent crate setup and a centered power source instead of just these random things all over. Yeah, because it's quite hard to manage. So I think we're going to go underground here to save us some time. This is, again, just a chill series I'm doing, and I don't really have much time. And lawn bases are, well, lawn bases. So we'll make an underground lawn base. So I'm liking this area already so far. So I'm probably going to start digging around here. All right, of course, I forgot that we do have vein miner in here. That could have been a huge waste of time. But yeah, we can select some shapes, like a small tunnel like so. All right, I've cleared out some space over here. I think I'm just going to place the mechanical crafters on this wall here. And then for the power source, we are going to figure out how to get turbines going down here. Because I think for now, that's my preferred power source. It produces a lot of stress units, and it's pretty, like, it's, it doesn't require anything. Okay, and I think we need to point everything to some exit. Let's put it down here. Okay, that should be the last one. Hopefully that's right. All right, I've also created a bunch more sails and got my windmill bearing over here. I forgot how this worked. We take the power. Yeah, okay, we take the power out of the bottom. I think we might just be able to use a gearbox to connect it if we have this horizontally, which is what I want. That's why I'm building in this direction. I'm sorry, digging in this direction. So let's say we have something like this. So if I just raise it off the floor a bit here, pointing this way, oh, the other way, and we'll have a bunch of cobblestone in the middle, and then we will put all our sails down after we clear more space. Okay, I've dug a bigger tunnel. I've shifted this by 1, so hopefully it doesn't clip through the wall. Yeah, let's get this try. I don't remember how to place these sails. I know they were quite finicky to place. Okay, yeah, I think as long as you got the first one down, the rest should be easy. Although I think for us, we're just going to place one on each side, I think. Like that, and so on and so forth. Okay, I think I did my maths right. There you go, very nice. And I think we just click on this, and then it shows spin. Oh, oops. This contraption was unable to assemble. Attached structure does not include enough sail-like blocks. 4. A minimum of 8 are required. Ooh, so this has to be wood or something? I didn't know that. Oops. No, it's still not happy with me. Okay. Huh. Alright, wasn't sail supposed to be on the sides? Like this? No, not that way. But yeah, I think cobblestone will work fine for this. So I think we just have to rotate it a different way. If we can. Yeah, something like that, I think, is the correct orientation. Has to be like a certain way, right? I think this has to be upside down, if I'm not mistaken. Right, because it's supposed to flow in one direction, right? Being blown in one direction. So the top must be something like this. All right, there you go. And then let me just move this torch out of the way. And then if we just click this, ta-da! We got a lot of SU. Look at that. 3000 SU. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why the middle block isn't spinning. I guess you don't need any of them. No, you don't. Okay. Well, I suppose I can just destroy them then to gain the blocks back. But, yep, there you go. Okay, to give power to the mechanical crafter, I think we can use the cogwheel in the corner over here. And then to connect that to the windmill bearing, we can probably use some vertical gearboxes. I think we need 2 of these, like so. Well, this one needs to be rotated one way, namely this way. And then that should connect to this, and it should move extremely slowly. Yeah, extremely slowly. We'll probably just have to be patient with crafts now until we get like the advanced, what do you call it? Here it is, the rotation speed controller. Yeah, so this needs one precision mechanism, but this is very worth it and makes managing speed much easier. We could do like stuff with adjustable chain gear shifts, I think. So this allows us to double the speed without having, you know, that whole gear setup. But for now, we'll just be patient and have this. Okay, with that setup, we now need the precision mechanisms. So we need to have a deployer set up. So we need 3 of these. All right, so we already have 1 deployer. So we'll just craft 2 more of them. So that means we need 2 more brass hands. So that's 8 more brass sheets. We also need a bit more of this redstone thing, or rose quartz it's called. A bit of sandpaper. We broke our previous one, so I need to make a new one so that we could polish this into the polished versions. And then now we can make our electron tubes. All right. And then now we could finally make our deployer, given that we have some cogwheels and andesite casings. All right, so here come the brass hands. And then we could put it all together to 2 more deployers. So we now have 3. And I think we just basically set these in a line, something like that. And then we can have some chains going along this side. We also can have a pair of andesite funnels to help pull the items in and out of the belt. So I think we just do this, and then we just put shafts over here. I mean, something like this. Yeah, so this would output out of the chest, I believe. And if we just have another chest on the other end, it should input it, I think. And now here comes the create part of trying to figure out where to, or rather how to wire all this up. Okay, so it's a bit tight over here, but hopefully you can see that those are the 5 points we have to wire up. So I think we can use some encased, not encased chain drives, but oh boy, this windmill is going to be pushing us around. But we can use some of these dried kelp, I think, to wire this up like this. Oh, this is dried kelp. Wow. Gotta make them into mechanical belts, first of all. Like so. That's actually spinning the right way, which is kind of nice. And actually, since we need all of this in one line, we could do something like this and then connect them all with one mechanical belt. So we save on a bit. Oh, this needs to extend like so, all the way over here. There you go. And that should start spinning all in the right way. This also uses a bit of SU. I think that's one of the disadvantages of using mechanical belts, but it's nice and simple. Okay, I think we can have one more gearbox at the top here. Like so. Is that spinning the right way? It's not spinning at all, hey? Alright, I think it has to be a vertical gearbox, so we have one of them facing down. I think. Oh, oops. And if we just place it above here. Yeah, that's not spinning the right way. Awesome. And we just extend the shaft over here and do something similar like before. Like so. And then we just need another set of mechanical belts to extend it in that direction. Okay, here we go. So this goes all the way over here. I guess I didn't think through this very well, and it's really blocking in a way. But there should be the deployers done and all connected, as we see over here. Nice. So remember, we're trying to get the extendo grip, which needs the precision mechanism, which is why we have this whole setup over here. So we need an iron nugget, a large cogwheel, and a small cogwheel, as well as a golden plate to have an 80% chance of getting this. So we'll do this a couple of times and see how we go. All right, so let's give this a go. So I think the first step is a small cogwheel. And then we're going to have the big cogwheel. And then we're going to have the iron nugget. So I think we're just going to have 5 rounds of this just to give it a try. Ah, sorry, that's a filter for the deployers. Whoops. Forgot how we actually got stuff onto this thing. Okay, I see. I'm supposed to like click on the hand, basically. So if I just look down there you go. Now it's on it. And so I just do the same thing for the other ones, like so. And I put the gold sheets over here. And slowly but surely it's going to do it. Speed is very slow, but I'm very excited to finally get the rotation speed controllers so that I'm able to not have to deal with such slow speeds again. All right, here comes the first one. Let's see if that actually crafts it. All right, we have to do it. How many times? 5 times? Oh, I forgot about this. Okay, well, I guess we need way more cogwheels and large cogwheels than I thought we were going to need. All right, I got some more onto these deployers, so we're just going to have to run through this a couple more times. And wait patiently. Hopefully one of them comes out so we could actually make a rotation speed controller as well as the extendo grip at the same time. All right, I think we're getting pretty close to our first one. All of these are mostly 12 out of 15. We should see the first one at any time very soon. Very close. Might be this one. Let's take a look. Oh, there it is. We got it. Very nice. Okay. That was our first try, I guess, which is quite neat. Let us quickly make that rotation speed controller so we can do the rest of this more quickly. So I think we just place this, well, a bit difficult, I guess, because we already have it in this position. We can extend this to the left by 1 so we have enough space to put this rotation speed controller first. So let's just quickly do that first. Okay, so we have our vertical gearbox over here. This one faces this way and that way. Whoops. That way. Okay. This goes here. This goes all the way up here. And then we just connect this through all of this, basically. And then now we can increase this on the side by holding right click. No, scrolling. I thought there was a GUI for this. Maybe that was a newer version. But yeah, we can speed this up. Also reverse the direction if we need to. Okay, I just looked it up and apparently you need to place a large cogwheel over here. Oh my, I'd completely forgotten how this mod works, I suppose. But yeah, that's one up there. Just fine. We just need to bring it down somehow. So I think we just use a vertical gearbox. We should be good to go, I think. Yeah, okay. So we have that over there. And if we just do another one over here, and then a shaft here. Oh no, now we're going the wrong direction. All right, so I looked it up and it's called a gear shift. I remember I think I used this a couple of times in the Legend of the Eye series. It's how we flip stuff. We also use a gearbox I read online, or watched online rather. But I think it's cheaper for us right now. It's just redstone. So we just power that on and now it's rotating in the right way. And then last but not least, if we just take this, we don't need this anymore, I think. We can just direct that through this lower area. And also this at the very top, we're going to have stuff spinning much more quickly, as you see over here. Very nice. Okay. And we're just going to bump this up until we have trouble. Okay, so it's about 80, I think is the issue. But yeah, 48 seems to run fine. Actually, it was 64. Okay, that's problematic. Okay. Yeah, 48 is completely okay. And if we just return my large cogwheels over here and finish the other 3 off, then hopefully we'll get a bit more. But we at least already have... Okay, we have 1. We have 2. Oh, we don't get that one. And that one broke. Okay. So we got 3 more. And 1 cogwheel in return. Very nice. Oh, sorry, that one didn't break. It just ran out of large cogwheels. I think that's the sound it makes. Okay. Okay, now here comes the external grip. So we're going to need brass ingots, some sticks. Panicked for a second. I thought I'd need 3 sticks. And a brass hand. All right, here we go. So the hand goes over here. We need some sticks. So that goes over here. 6 of them. And then we need the precision mechanism and the brass ingot at the very top. Okay, I just read it online and it's one of those things that needs a redstone signal. Oh, well, okay. Well, there it is. There's our external grip. I didn't know it needed that, but that's pretty cool. Look at it. And yeah, over here, again, it describes what it can do. So we need to use the copper Backtank to avoid using durability if we don't want to. We just put it off in our offhand like so. Oh, just look at that, just it holding our pickaxe. But yeah, if we just get our copper Backtank out, which has been charging for quite a bit actually, over here, it should be mostly full. Yeah, it is. And we can't put our chest plate on with that, unfortunately. That's okay. I guess that is a compromise. But yeah, look at this. We can reach so far now. There you go. That is extremely far. And that is a pretty cool animation as well. Look at that. Nice. All right, next up is a diving helmet and diving boots. This allows us to swim in the ocean, basically. Very nice. And also gives us oxygen. When I say being able to swim in the ocean, I mean not swim, but like just being able to sink to the ocean, it says. So if we go over here and we just try to go into the ocean with our thing on, where is it? Backtank. Then you can see we just sink to the bottom of the ocean. And we can walk, jump, as if we were on the surface, which is quite nice, I guess, for building and whatnot. But yeah, just be careful. As it says, we need to go back to the surface before we run out. And it can be a bit tricky because we do actually have to climb up these steps like we're climbing up a mountain. I think if we take them off, we go back to normal swimming again, as we see. I look pretty weird inside of these, do I? Oh well. Okay, and last but not least in this quest cluster is to make the potato cannon. I'm not sure exactly what it does. It says it shoots stuff, but I'm pretty sure it's also used for building. I don't know. I really don't remember. Anyway, we need some fluid pipes, so let's get that crafted. We have the copper, we have the andesite alloy, and I forgot what the last ingredient was. It was the precision mechanism. Great. So if you just turn this guy off, and then we start drawing it on the board, like so, and turn this on, we are going to get our potato cannon. I panicked for a second there. I thought I messed up, but there it is. Okay, very nice. So what does this look like? Oh no, it is indeed a cannon. Okay, it was not the building cannon that I was thinking of. I see. Okay, I've just looked it up and it's not able to load everything. One of the things is melons, as you see over here. Yeah, there you go. And it makes a funny sound, did it? Yeah. Pretty fun thing from Create. I might mess around with it more in the future. Because I have watched online that it has a lot more depth to it than it seems on the surface. With like more knockback and other stuff with depending on what you load onto it. So we'll get to that someday. If I do, that is. And there is our Create Quest Cluster certificate. There you go. Okay, the very last thing in this chapter, except for the 1K iron quest, is the Node.js quest. So there's these blocks that are called nodes, apparently, I think. Yeah, that's what they look like over here. I think we've encountered some flower nodes in the nether before. And it's saying that to extract stuff from that, we need to use something called an ore extractor, which we need to power at very high RPM and very high SU as well. So it's actually not too hard to create. We just need some brass casings. All right, here comes the brass casing. I need to place them over here. And there you go. There's the rest of it. like so. Let's see what it looks like. And yeah, at the top over here, we have a shaft we could power it with or with some gears on the side. Next up, we need a drill, and it can be placed automatically or using one of these methods or manually. And they have to be replaced relatively often. And we're going to use a bunch of iron to make this. Okay, here we go. There is the drill head. All right, the next thing that the quest cluster wants us to do is to actually get these ore pieces from these nodes. So I found one over here in Overworld right in front of me, and it's a lapis one. You can see that cinder flower is not one of them. So the one that's in the nether is, well, I guess still useful, but not useful for this quest. So yeah, we're just going to have to probably get a rotation speed controller over here. A pretty strong motor as well. Well, I guess we don't have a motor. What I meant was a strong source of stress units. So we could probably bring all of this just temporarily over to complete the quest. All right, here we go. So I'm just going to take the rotation speed controller and all of this temporarily. But yeah, there's probably more of these around that I just can't spot. They are quite tough to spot, as you see over here. They look pretty much like dirt. But yeah, in the creative world, I really wasn't able to find any underground. So it's really just all up here. Okay, I think I got the setup here. So I have a rotation speed controller to the large cogwheel, the vertical gearbox down here. And then I have my turbine starting over here. Okay, there it is. We right click this and this spins. And we can spin this very quickly, I think. But yeah, let's put our drill head on here, I think. There you go. And if we just increase this speed. Oh, that's too much. I guess 48 would do. And this should start mining, I think. Not rotating with enough speed. Wow, so you still need more than this. Okay, I guess we're getting in more turbines. Or sorry, sails, whatever these are called. All right, I've added 40 more sails. Let's see if that's enough. So how fast can we go now? 86, 80, and it's still not enough. Okay, we gotta add even more. All right, I added another stack of sails, and we are looking at a very beautiful thing over here. Okay, let's bring it up now. Is that enough? Yes, it is finally. Okay, very nice. Can we even bump this up a bit higher? No, that's the highest. Okay, awesome. Okay, so now I think to extract this, will it do it by itself? Or we might need some andesite funnels actually. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it says in the ponder menu if you open over here. There you go, files and fan chutes can extract any output items. So we just place it over here. And there you go. Okay, now with these ore pieces, it's saying that we need to use a blaze cake on a blaze burner so that it heats up hot enough. And to do that, we need some cinder file, which is just ground up netherrack. So we're going to get to some crushing wheels over here. Oh boy, that is a lot of andesite alloys. Anyway, we see over here, we need a slime ball to make this work. Okay, because we need SU back at the base, we are just going to tear this down for now. I have AFK'd here while editing, and I think that's enough for demonstration purposes, hopefully. I have no idea how much the quest wants, but I guess we'll see in a bit. So all this is coming with me. All right, now that I've had to reconstruct this, I decided to move this to the left so we have a bit more space over here to do stuff and potentially extend this a bit further. If we want to have too wide, I don't even know what they're called, fans, wings. Okay, so I think we're just going to make the crusher on this side over here. Here, which there. First though, we got to make the crushing wheels, so we need a bunch of andesite alloys arranged in that manner. And I think we want some wood and a stone block in the middle. Okay, which we do happen to have a bit of leftovers. And here we go. Here are our two crushing wheels. That's such a nice animation, isn't it? There you go. And I think this is yet another funnel setup for this. Okay, I see online that you're not supposed to use a funnel, but I'll give it a try anyway, because that's what we already have. All right, so here are the two things to wire up over here. I guess we are gonna have to be a bit creative. So each of these need to go in a different direction. We might be able to use a gearbox over here and another one like this. So we have that spinning like that. Okay, after thinking about it for a while, I think I might get this. So this one needs to spin clockwise in this direction. So it needs to be connected with this. You know, this one needs to spin counterclockwise. So we connect it with that. That connects with that, right? There you go. Might be slightly inefficient, but I think it works. Alright, let's quickly get some netherrack because I couldn't find my stock of netherrack. This is such a dangerous place to vein mine though. Let's try somewhere else, like the hills maybe. Okay, let's throw like half a stack in, let's say. There you go, that's a quest complete. Okay, next up is making the pie crust. Okay, so we need to do some compacting over here with cinder flour, sugar, and the egg. It's not hard, but the hard part is just we don't have it set up. So I think it's just about time that we start having permanent setups for all that over here. Okay, I got these 3 setups moved down here. Now these 2 are relatively straightforward. We just need to pull them all the way back here, where there's already a line of rotational power. I keep getting pushed into this when it's also getting mildly annoying. I think for this one, we're going to somehow have to use a large cogwheel, as you see over here. And let's bring it inside, like so. And we probably need another vertical gearbox like that. And then we can connect it to this line over here. Okay, here we go. It's starting to come together. And we just cover this area up. All right, very nice. And I think we just need to compact some stuff here. So cinder flour, sugar, and egg. The other way around. There you go. There is our blaze cake base. All right, the very last step over here is to actually make the blaze cake itself. And here we do need the spout, as you can see over here, where we basically pour in some lava, and that's it. And I think over here we're just going to try to use the depot because I don't know how else to do it. That's how it is shown inside of JI or whatever it's called. And then we get some lava from our local cave down here. And I don't remember if this actually needs any power or not, or if we just, oh well, let's put it one at a time. If we just do this, no. I think things need to be pumped into this. Okay, I see. So we cannot access it manually and we need to pipe it in with some pipes. Okay, I'm pretty sure we could set it up like this. So we have our fluid tank over there, and our mechanical pump pointing into it. And then we just need some gears that connect to the back, and hopefully we'll be good to go. And just to check, we are supposed to be able to put fluids into here. No, we're going to have to pump it in as well. Okay, we're going to need another mechanical pump then. We're also going to need the drain, I think, to put into the tank. Okay, so here they are from here. And we just need to place some cog wheels. I'm not actually sure if the direction of rotation actually matters, but I guess we'll see. Okay, it seems that I can connect them together with one large cog wheel, and that seems to perfectly align with this thing over here. So we're going to take this out and take a gear shift. I don't think the direction of rotation matters for that one, so we could freely replace this with a gearbox like this. And then we're going to connect our shafts, and we should be good to go. Oh, okay, yeah. We should be good to go. It's just overstressed. All right, there you go. Down to 48. Okay, I believe this is how you use the spout. So we just put this down here. And I should pump this into here. And I should pump it into the spout. And then if we just place our blaze cake down here, it's going to fill it up like so. Very nice. There is our Create Quest Cluster certificate. Okay, even though that's the quest cluster completed, I still want to just make one of these into ore. Or, sorry, into lapis in this case, just as a demonstration. So we're going to need some slime balls, which we don't have. But fortunately, there is a recipe by Create that allows us to make it with dough and lime dye, which is white dye and green dye. And green dye can be obtained by crushing wild rice. Or large ferns as well, actually. Well, since we don't have a desert yet, I guess that's what we are going to do. We're going to go to the nearest taiga, which is in this direction. I don't feel like hunting for slimes in the night. I don't even know what phase the moon is in at the moment. Sea pickles are also another choice, by the way. So I guess we could, I don't know if they grow in our biome, but we'll see. All right, while we're here, we might as well grab some sea pickles. I don't know what block, oh, it's just no tool. Okay, sure. Huh, breaks instantly. I guess I should have brought my diving boots here. Forgotten about that. Actually, you know what? Since we already have what we need, we're just going to go back home directly with the sea pickles. Alright, we have some of the sea pickles, and if we place this in a crusher, it's going to give us 2 green dye each. Or actually lime dye directly, very nice. And to make dough, we need to add wheat and water. Or actually, we can also just pass it through this bulk washing setup, and we get that through crushing wheat, which we have plenty of. Or actually, we can just grab from the farm right now. There are still very many. Okay, here this comes over here. And we come over here to wash the wheat flour. And we get some dough, I think, out of this. Okay, once we have all the dough over here, we can turn all that into slime balls. Very nice. And if we come over here and just feed some of the coal to this blaze, the blaze cake, make it supercharged, we can throw all of this in here to start mixing it. Very nice. We'll see how much we get. I have no clue, but yeah. Oh, whoops, there you go. There's already some of that. But I think if I just grab this basin temporarily and we put that over here, this will act as an output as you see over here. Okay, the very last thing I want to do, because it's a bit of an itch, and even though this video is getting a bit long, is this. The 1000 iron ingots quest. We do not have 1000 right now. I think we have just over 300. Yeah, 368. I do want to build a proper iron line in the future, but for now I think I'm going to cheese this a bit and collect this on my own. Because I think I do want to make a proper iron line along with the steel line in the future, which is essential when we want to get into railroading. But as you can see over here, the biggest bottleneck with the system is actually this system over here, the cobblestone generator. It's pretty slow. Actually, sorry, no, not the cobblestone generator. As you can see, we have a decent backlog. It's this millstone, which is quite slow. I think both of them are running at about the same speed, actually. This can definitely handle a bit more input. So for now, I'm going to take all this cobblestone and throw this into the crusher to help it out. Ouch. And also go on a bit of a mining trip myself over here. Okay, I'm back from a huge mining trip, as you see over here. Got even a single diamond from caving. But yeah, I got I think 4 stacks of iron plus a bit that I've already processed. These are the other goodies and some stuff in here as well. Well, I guess I have stuff even a bit more iron. But yeah, I put them through the crusher because they actually give you quite a lot through the crusher. A 35% chance of 2 extra compared to just, well, 1 on the millstone. So yeah, I've just basically been processing that. It's been great. And you see the results over here. And I've also been processing a bunch of the gravel, having this chunk loader on the whole time that I was mining. But yeah, I'm pretty sure we're pretty close. Let's just craft the final bits over here. And if I just clear enough inventory space temporarily for all this iron, we should have 1000, I think. Let's see. Almost. 60 more. Okay, just 1 more stack and we're going to be there. All right, here we go, I think. Oh, finally exciting to finish basically the first chapter that we have in this entire thing. I mean, there's an introductory chapter, but I guess it doesn't really count. It's not a real chapter. There you go. There it is. It's over. All of create, I think. I don't know why it's still blue though. There might be something hidden. Oh, this guy might have to click this off. This is just some suggestions on taking things slow because create will be used throughout the whole pack, not just here. And over here, it's mostly just saying that we should complete some of these quest clusters to progress to the next age, I think. I think that's what's preventing us from getting to Immersive Engineering. But now I think we have enough. Actually, we've done all of them. So we have 6 of them in total. And there you go. There's a satisfying sound of the chapter being done. And all iron. Very, very nice. Okay. And that should unlock Immersive Engineering, which hopefully we'll get into next time. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today. A bit of a long one, but it's been a while since I've been here. So it's great to be back. As you see, I lost all my armor, although it was already low durability when I started. It was just all the mobs in the caves. But yeah, today we completed the create quest chapter. And as I said, hopefully we're going to Immersive Engineering next time around. Till next time, thank you very much for watching. Have a good rest of your day. And as always, God bless.